Guys, a year ago when I came across one of the most promising, perplexing, and also a kind of mind-boggling technology since the advent of internet, and I never expected it to be such a game changer in the true sense, and it's going to affect the learning landscape. And it has cuts across all the disciplines. In fact, it's by far has been the most cataclysmic, and the kind of urgency that it brings to us about learning to adapt. After adopting, obviously we have to adopt the technology to adapt to it, and then we need to deploy and harness to the best of our investment opportunities. The thing is, this large language model, it seems like it knows no bounds and it remains unabated. With most of the tech giants, they are also at a loss. I mean, how much to spend, how much to invest, how far it can take us to unraveling the mysteries so far unknown, unraveled, and also the kind of promises that it brings to us in the medical world, especially in the medical world. I mean, like diagnostics as well as drug development. And amazingly, I was stunned to know that the kind of diagnosis that it has developed with the kind of insight, the kind of algorithms and data analysis in the real term, with the technology of gathering, pulling information, then subjecting the information to its veracity, authenticity. It has sparked a new wave of not just doubts and apprehension, but also promises and hopes. Because I came across two cases in which around 15 doctors, they had diagnosed something, and in fact many of them, they failed to reach the right conclusion, and the majority of the conclusions actually they tallied with the kind of findings that ChatGPT has come up with. So it's just an isolated incident, and there are many cases and studies where human expertise has failed to discern and also failed to recognize the fact that the millions of other things to be taken into account while diagnosing the kind of incurable diseases. I'll mention cancer, and in cancer is also focused kind of diagnostics, and even the drug delivery, which is so precise, and it targets those cells, exactly those malignant cells, without harming the rest part of the body. And that's the big promise to all those suffering from this incurable disease for years, and there are millions of cases, and they can be diagnosed earlier than expected, and just because of the advanced screening and pooling of the real data analysis out of the laboratory. You don't have to have samplings of all the kinds of anabolism and metabolism and kind of. So what it does and how it's going to do with quantum mechanics and quantum biology and quantum physics being toyed with, like IBM already been working hard on it. Then we have other companies. They are really hopeful that with the qubits from 64 and then 100 and even the Google chip making There was one which was lately in the news, and it promises that what it could resolve could have taken even the largest computers all over the world combined together millions of years. And how it achieved that, the chip is known as Willow, and it has worked only at 64 qubit so far, which is raised to hundreds and so many. And no doubt, this Elon Musk is also up to the arms, and then he's spending heavily. It's supposed to have one of the largest foundries of the data and the largest chip making, and it has allocated a huge, like, cities after city fields with its own kind of factories and knowledge factories. And you know that because of Tesla being 30 to 40% of the world automaking industry, it accounts for users. So they have pool of data while driving, autonomous driving, and it's no wonder that very soon it's going to be autopiloted in true sense, because like, as long as human intervention is concerned, they've already tested in all thousands of miles of driven vehicles, and so far, compared to the human error, this autopiloting and based on its own discretionary decision making and averting incidents of, it has done by far much better than what human capabilities can. So what I'm trying to tell that, like, humans, they are prone to errors making, and if technology can improve upon that and reduce the rates of accidents and deaths is caused because of the pedestrians and because the car drivers all over the world, millions of lives are lost. So if autopiloting and auto driving, like Segways, Amy from, and then even Apple, they had launched a kind of its own version of, although they're not very successful, and China, no doubt, is not far behind catching up, and in fact is the biggest competitor, and BYD and other automakers, they are all out into the cheapest and the finest and the most advanced model of the based on harnessing artificial intelligence, data driven, with the technology that promises so much that the car making industry is going to entirely alter, and it's going to be completely EV based or solar based, and all. Obviously it's going to have zero emissions with environment friendly versions, and the rest of the world which is struggling to, they'll take time to switch over to the new technology. But China, no doubt, is upping up its arms against Tesla. Tesla has been in trouble because of its more expensive models and some accidents, some mishaps, in fact, and maybe human error, maybe technological error. I don't know. I'm not sure about it. But the thing is, Tesla and other, even now we have Mercedes-Benz and others that are tying up with. But China, what is doing is, like, Xiaomi has come up with its own model, which is breathtakingly beautiful and really very fast. Technology which is top of the world, and people are, and it has flooded the entire the world with its autos. Vehicles, like Australia is all out for Chinese model because the kind of cutthroat competition the prices are offering, the Tesla is no match, and the rest of the world there's no match for that, probably because the subsidy culture and the government's overspending on technological, and also the kind of rigid structure without, like bureaucratic red tapeism, all that. So it's not just car industry is being affected by this advancement of quantum computing. Maybe it sounds like too far-fetched at this time, but I'm sure that with kind of even biological chips, like cellular organisms are being developed, and if physics laws have to be abided, many of the physics laws are being really broken into shreds. In fact, the matter states, like solid, liquid, gas, and now we have topograph, and that's a different state where electrons and neutrons are there no more in circular motions, and in what we call it, this quantum computing is that you can a matter state can be visible or invisible at the same time. You can see that, you can't see that, and also what's mind-blowing is that it can be spotted at the same time in two different corners of the world. Now, this means that the time capsule or distance can be abridged at a breathtaking speed, and things could go with the speed of light. So technology has always been advancing, but the kind of artificial intelligence and these language models, which is up to the par with very qualified intellectuals, with loads of insight and discernibility, also kind of analysis and fact-checking, kind of critical thinking ability, problem solving, and the way it works, like graduation level or post-graduation level or PhD level of intelligence. So what I suspect is that very soon, it's not so distant, the combined intelligence that is being developed over the all over the world by these conglomerates and tech giants is going to surpass human intelligence combined. And I've heard of the news about Zuckerberg, whose metaverse plan failed. It took a nosedive because it didn't catch up with kind of glasses, and so now he's all out into pooling the world's best minds. He's offering millions SSP packages, and he has already formed a group of giant intellects trying to formulate and trying to come up with their own version of artificial intelligence. So intelligence that we have accumulated over the centuries, over thousands of years, are being pulled and are being fed into the machines, and those machines are coming up with sparkling, startling, stunningly fresh insight into. So what is promising about quantum computing is that they can bring about solutions to the problems until now unknown, uncatered to, or unattempted. So, and there will be promising cases of discovery, new scientific, new laws, new inventions, new. So, computing power is moving at a breathtaking speed, and people like us, we're just a passive witness to what's happening in it. Within a year, I can see that. The kind of, when we compare it to the time scale of, it's only, like 12 hours or 12 years have gone into this artificial intelligence making, compared to thousands of years of the knowledge accumulated through all the scriptures, all the world intelligence together. Now, whether we deploy, we harness, we really minimize our dependence on such artificial knowledge, because every knowledge that comes in the form of facts and it cannot be catered to, cannot be capitalized on the actual gains. The actual gain of knowledge or wisdom comes from our insight, our perspective, or gaining, a first-hand, first-rate, perspective making, and that can resolve our personal issues. And so we'll always be at the beck and call of the intelligence of those wise people over the years. And wisdom costs. We can analyze the data and all that, but wisdom cannot be analyzed. Critical thinking, actual problem solving, we can have hardware and software and all. Engineers could be replaced by like coders, and there won't be any coders, engineers to code for, but there will still be humans behind the coding industry where they can code for actual problem solving issues, and they can come up with like savior of humanity, where like climatic changes, issues like human aging and diseases, chronic diseases, and also like population depletions, or on the one hand we have really a very dismal picture where humanity at large is suffering on account of lack of food, nutrition, and obviously the man-made tragedies all over, where countries after countries thereafter, they're not actually into supporting the masses. Hungry mouths means hungry mouths, next door neighbors, and on the other hand we have affluences all around. We have lots of technologies. If all the technology combined could really come as a savior of humanity, it could really tackle the problems of earthly problems and the Martian problems, and trying to inhabit those kind of far-fetched planets where the promises could be only distant, and then we're actually going to, for dream's sake, for having planted our foots and having to explore, like we land in the moon. But what could we achieve except that we can claim that we have visited all these heavenly bodies? And how far we can go in visiting the heavenly bodies if we can't take care of a small tiny earth, which is just a baby to be nursed, to be nurtured, and to be taken care of. It's so wonderful, so beautiful. Why can't we together take care of the ills and all the evils that they beset the, and then it's like thorns in the rose. Call this earth is like a rose, and so the thing is that we can't stop the ongoing cycle or wheel of technological progresses, advancements and all, but we still can't remain immune to sensitivity, our morality, our human bound, and we're human bound, and we must take care of our brethren, take care of fraternity. I also think of like how far we can reach to collaborate, to find amicable solutions to all the teething problems the world is faced, including wars, including strifes, including conflicts among nations and of nations. And I see the world changing drastically into a hotbed of disappointments, of confrontations, of hegemonistic, and then the USA is leading in this, creating a rift. Europe is not together. Then the rest of the Southeast Asia and then other Middle East, they're all at loggerheads. In fact, nothing seems to be working like the world bodies. We have spent thousands of hours speculating on the outcome of. And we stop the 2 wars so far fought. Let's stop the 3rd one. Let's make sure that there's no 3rd war we have to fight. And if we have to fight, that would be the end of the end of all of us. And humanity will perish. So we don't want humanity to perish this way. Let's nurture our earth so that at least for a couple of thousands of years we leave a legacy for our coming generations, and we take care of our beautiful, wonderful, lovely, heavenly earth. Thank you so much for listening to me.